The sense of ambush came early, before Melbourne Victory ground through the gears of a steely performance to beat Newcastle 1-0 in the city's first home league grand final. Victory announced they would stop their rot in the Steel City with the earliest goal in grand final history, scored by Kosta Barborouses in the 9th minute. It started at the feet of Leroy George, who began his locomotive performance down the left touchline for Victory, with a long free kick to James Donachie at the far post. Barborouses reacted to the centering header and scraped a shot past the left glove of Newcastle keeper Glenn Moss, after a deflection off the Jets' John Kostrumis. The air pressure seemed to drop. 3,000 travelling Victory fans erupted, and their chanting and drums seemed to match their team's seizure of the contest. The visitors grew stronger in the closing stages as the Jets, on the crest of a resurgence from last season's wooden spoon, fought to fashion a way through a young Victory defence that ultimately aced every test. Sign up to receive the latest Australian sports stories every day. It was Newcastle who sputtered out, and Jets goal poacher Roy O'Donovan signed off with a jab of violence. The Irishman's 93rd minute kick to the jaw of Victory keeper Lawrence Thomas was from the kit bag of Conor McGregor. It earned O'Donovan a red card and left Lawrence's face swathed in bandages. The 25-year-old keeper was later awarded the Joe Marston Medal after a brave, icy display. Newcastle's biggest day in sport in a decade could have been different for the Jets, who tantalized without finding their range in a lightning first half. The architect of last week's sensational scorpion kick goal, Riley McGree, commanded the midfield at times, and his informed teammate Dimitri Petratos was beginning to pick his moments. Newcastle set up camp in Victory's half for what felt like an age. And still they held. So deep did the visitors retreat that George clocked their only possession, for large chunks of the game, in attacking territory. Newcastle dangerman Ronald Vargas summed up the hosts' ability to find space but fritter it away. The shots that came were snaffled by the gloves of Thomas, and halftime came as an elixir for the visitors. The window cracked open for a hometown miracle as Petratos launched a stinging series of dangerous crosses in the last 5 minutes, only for the assembled Victory bodies to scramble each of them clear. James Donachie could have sealed the game late, belting into the post from a fine angle. It didn't matter. Victory stand as the big match giants of the A-League. So the season ends sadly for Newcastle and their coach Ernie Merrick, who the city has embraced along with the other Scotsman who seems to be constantly on the local airwaves, Chief Executive Laurie McKenna. In his first season, Merrick has brought a lightness of spirit that Novocastrians find endearing. More than 29,000 people attended the grand final at Hunter Stadium, a full house. The last time a crowd this size watched the Jets in Newcastle was in November 2010, in the Nathan Tinkler era, when they beat a David Beckham-led LA Galaxy. Kevin Muscat's men came to Newcastle on a mission. They had surgically removed a win over Sydney FC to make it, and they faced a Newcastle team that had made watching the Jets fun again. It just wasn't enough.